Hello, everybody. It's Juanita at EurWay Tours. It is almost Christmas time. Yay! Thanksgiving just finished. And I thought, what a better time than to share some of the things that happen in Europe. So just in case you've got time this year to go to the Christmas markets, here are some ideas. And if you don't have this year time, we'll get you planned for next year. Welcome, welcome. This is Travel Talk Tuesday. And I just got off the road from Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Hawaii. So got rid of my Thanksgiving stuff and I am ready to go for Christmas. So I'm getting all my stars out, all of my Christmas decor. And today I'm going to show you some of the things that you could experience if you are planning or would like to plan going to a European Christmas market. So those of you that are watching this later on after the recording, you can always email us any of your questions, or we can help you with any of your reservations or anything that you need help with. All right. So I'm going to get my little slideshow started and just show some of the sites, because that's the best thing. Some of the sites that you will see at the Christmas market. So all right. So here, you should see some of the, okay, hopefully you get to see the slide, and then I'll explain. Feel free to chime in or ask any questions anytime you've got any questions, and I'll be happy to show those and share the answers with you. If not, I will find out and see how we can do that, okay? All right, so here we are. It's European Christmas time. And of course, everybody's putting their decorations up and things like that. But in Europe, way, way back, they used to say someplace in between what they call Prague, west of Prague of Czechoslovakia, and Paris, somewhere there north and south of Copenhagen and Milan, all those places kind of intertwined into a town which was centrally the place that everything was bought from and distributed from was Nuremberg area. So the Nuremberg area was known for distribution of goods and things. So of course, holiday time, all the farmers, all the people would come in and do those things. And at Christmas, it got to be a little special. So these Christmas markets started. And so some of the traditions and things I will share with you here. And of course, for those of you that don't know, that December 6th is one of the very first holidays. And what that means is Nikolaustag, Santa Claus Day. So Christmas for Europeans and mostly Germans, it's kind of mixed. So Christmas, December 24th, is the birth of the Christ child. So the Christkindl. Whereas December 6th is when Nikolaus came. So Nikolaus came into town, and this is when the kids needed to be good or bad and designate who's going to get a gift or who's going to get no gift or who's going to get punished. Or this is kind of the chance to get yourself straightened up till Christmas. So December 6th is Nikolaustag. And so the night before, the December 5th, the kids put their shoes out in front of their doors. And the next morning, on the 6th, when they wake up, if there's goodies in your shoes, such as these, if there's like a little Santa Claus in there, some cookies, candies, nuts, that means you've been good and you deserve some goodies. Now, if you see maybe some sticks, rocks, orange, it's like, okay, you haven't done such a good job. You got to straighten up. So it was kind of neat to see some of that happening with children. So it started out with, small shoes. Well, now they're putting out big boots. And in some places, places even at the kindergarten, you'll see them lined up like that. And Santa Claus will come into town in different venues. So it's not like the Santa Claus that you usually see, here in America, ho, 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 and kind of, they've started adopting that but That's not the usual way. So your travel options to come to Europe. So if you're going to come for the Christmas markets, just for the Christmas markets, remember, it's a cold time of year in Europe. And so catching a tour is pretty good at this time. There's lots of tour companies that do either a tour on a bus, or you can do a tour on a cruise or a ship. I can't say big cruise. It's not a huge cruise ship. These are boat trips. And so they might be 2 stories at the most, but they go down the Danube or the Rhine River, and then they stop at little different towns, 2 a day or something, or you can drive. In Europe, you can get, you can rent a car. You just need to have a valid American driver's license, and you can get an international driver's license before you leave America at AAA, about $20. Just need to kind of probably polish up on the signs. Otherwise, driving there is pretty much the same, except for those areas in Europe where the speed limits are not limited. But your travel options are pretty great. What do those trips run about now? So some of the sales, like at gate1travel.com, they always have great sales. So now they have some of the Christmas sales. So you have like an 8-day for $2,500. And that is flight, hotel, and transportation. Just a couple of meals. No, not too many include meals, because you're going to go to the Christmas market. You're going to eat so many good things. You have so many choices there when you get there. But some of the trips are 8 days, 12 days, and some of them go just to some of the major areas. They'll go to Frankfurt, Nuremberg, Berlin, Prague, München, Frankfurt, or Stuttgart. But some of them are just along the river. So those are a varied type. So you have to see, and some go to different countries. So they'll go to France, Germany, Austria, or Belgium, France, Germany. So it depends on where you want to go and what you want to experience. When they say you've seen one Christmas market, you've seen them all, that is not true in Europe. So every area is going to be different. So depending on whether you want to take that bus tour, you want to take the cruise, and a cruise will run a little bit more than the bus tour, starting at about maybe $2,800 on up for 7 to 12 days. But driving, just remember, holiday time, just like in America, there's lots of things going on. And so there's lots of traffic. And so many of us want to, if you get nervous about all the traffic and then parking, when the Christmas markets are there, it's difficult to park. So think about those options as well. But plan your budget accordingly. See what kind of transportation you want to take. You can also head on over, get yourself a flight. Flights right now are running approximately $800 to $1,200. And once you get the flight, we can always help you get hotel rooms, or Delta Vacations, United Vacations. They have these budget and package deals that get your flight and your hotel together. And then you figure out how you're going to get around, whether you're going to do a rent-a-car, whether you want to do the train. Train is always a good one, because a train, you can get a EurRail pass for $250 for a month. You don't have to stay there the whole month, but you can go anywhere you want to within Europe. So that's a really good deal. It's like kind of hop off, hop on. A rental costs anywhere from $45 to $65 a day. That's if you have to have an automatic. So an automatic meaning, typical in Europe, when you rent a car, their normal rental is a manual stick shift. And those are cheaper. So if you can drive that stick shift, that's maybe a good deal for you. With the train, just singular trips can run anywhere from, when you're going town to town, 25 euros, $25, $25, so a singular trip in one day might be $90. So you got to be careful, where you want to go. But if you can line up those trains, Deutsche Bahn, dbahn.de, they have great deals also. And they sometimes also offer hotels during Christmas times to get you closer to the markets, because many of the markets are near either the main city market plots, or they're right there in they are right in the near the train station. So that's one of those things. Okay. All right. So let me change here. All right. The markets are in so many different areas. This is Dresden, one of the oldest markets. So people don't realize, but because the markets, like we said, are in the middle of town near train station, Dresden actually has seven Christmas markets. And those seven are just awesome. So the seven Christmas markets are all different, but they are strategically placed throughout Dresden so that you can walk to each one. Now, you're not, if you stay at each one for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, you might be able to do them all at one day, but it's really hard. It's hectic. It's really hectic. But in order to see everything, you've just got to be able to go maybe 2 or 3 a day. They are just awesome. So Dresden and Leipzig, those are places where they have so many um, um, of these Christmas markets. And when you look back at the time, I think someplace back 1434, when they look back at their history, that's when some of the Christmas markets were mentioned in some of their writings. And again, notice on a lot of the pictures, not just are these Christmas markets near the middle of town, near a market plots or a train station, usually near a church. So it's an easy way to find it. So when we're looking at about the traditions and the things that people do and all those things, oh my gosh. So why would you want to go to a European Christmas market? Well, the decorations are so different. The gifts are so different. It is just, and it's being adopted in many countries. So in many countries, you'll see the nutcrackers and all the things. But in many of the towns, they pride themselves into handmade gifts and traditional. So whether they're made out of wood or paper or anything, a lot of them really pride themselves that many of the Christmas markets started with handmade gifts. And these are specific in the areas. So of course, in Rothenburg, Nuremberg, all those, you're going to see those nutcrackers, you're going to see the stars. It's just one of those things. The food that you'll experience is different in every Christmas market. So of course, in Belgium, they're going to have lots of waffles. In France, it's lots of crepes. And oh my gosh, they make eclairs for Christmas. Oh my gosh, they make so many neat things for Christmas time, just for Christmas. And the cookies, they are cookies that are only made during Christmas time. So whether you're talking about the macaroons or you're talking about the hazelnut cookies in Germany, the crescents, the cinnamon, oh, the gingerbread, Lebkuchen, you'll see that in different ways. So the food in the Christmas markets are different. And then, of course, as I said, not just handmade. Yes, we pride ourselves in handmade everything. Food, oh my goodness. Sometimes it's a competition. Who's going to be able to get that, get all those goodies for you at home? People take turns. I remember a friend, I think she went through at least a good 50 to 100 pounds of butter because she would make cookies. Miss Kemmer would make cookies for everybody in the family, all of her friends. You would just get tubs of cookies, and she would make like 15 different kinds. And that's a typical thing in a European home. They've started making cookies now, and then they, put them away, freeze them up or things so that they'll have them, because a lot of the decorations and goodies, you might be eating goodies up until Christmas time, but many of the decorations don't come out until the 23rd or 22nd of December, because they pretty much decorate right before Christmas. That's when the tree goes up. As Americans, Thanksgiving is finished and the tree is up. We are ready. So, folks, it's, I think, 29 days to Christmas. So here we go. Um, So as I talked about, December 6th is one of the first holidays, actually, not holidays, but one of the Christmas days that we look at, but Advent. So there are usually 4 Advents. And this is not just a European thing, but we do this around the world. So in different religions, we celebrate Advent. So it's the Sunday, there's 4 Sundays before Christmas. And so that's when Advent calendars come, Advent wreaths are placed out there with 4 candles, or we may have Advent calendars where you're doing a countdown with the kids and they open up the little doors with little goodies. We even make Advent calendars, which is a kind of a neat thing at home. You may even have Advent candles that are for every day of December. But Advent is a big time, and those are times, family times as well, that families get together. If they can't get together on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, then they'll have Advent events on Sundays. Many of your Christmas markets are only on Advent weekends. So that's another thing to take in heed when you're looking at your calendar to plan that Christmas market trip, to make sure those Christmas markets are open. And when they are open, usually they're open from 11 in the morning until 11 at night. So that's the typical Christmas. So of course the Christmas markets do look beautiful in the day, but they are spectacular at night. So as I'm talking about goodies, so these are some of my favorites. You've got your hazelnut, um, you've got your hazelnut cookies, macaroons. I make these all the time. And then you've got your vanilla crescents, and sometimes you can dip those into chocolate. And then, of course, the cinnamon cookies that are just the stars. They're usually in stars. Those are to die for. But one of the big things is Lebkuchen, gingerbread. And that's one of the things that, in America, we have gingerbread houses, well, Lebkuchen houses. In Europe, um, they do a lot of gingerbread. Now, some people only think of gingerbread when they go to the fest. When you go to the beer fest or the spring fest in most towns, you see these beautiful hearts, and they're actually made out of gingerbread. And, back in the 1200s, again, monks in Ulm and Nuremberg used these Lebkuchen, these gingerbreads, to send messages, and maybe sometimes, just words of encouragement. Sometimes they had Bible verses and things on them. But of course, here now, you'll see them at the fest with, I love you, I fell for you, or, oh, you're my sweetheart, or, and then at Christmas time, they'll have Christmas items on them, or they're made so that they're smaller. These at fest time are very large. They're almost big, so they wear them as necklaces sometimes. But if you let it hang out for about a week or two, that Lebkuchen, that gingerbread, turns hard, and then it's forever petrified, and it turns into a wall decoration, almost like a picture. Um, what is one of the typical things that you're gonna do when you go to a Christmas market? It's glühwein. Glühwein is one of those things. Yes, Americans call it mulled wine. And so when you're looking at glühwein, right now in America, you could actually go to some stores that have it already bottled up for you, and all you got to do is heat it up. So you can purchase it. World Market has it. I've even seen it at Marshall's or some of those places. But even your grocery stores, Fresh Market, um, will have glühwein in a bottle. But the best glühwein is if you make it yourself. Oh my goodness. So there's a little recipe. I always tell people when I make my glühwein, you go to the store and you get the cheapest red wine. I'm sorry, Gallo wine's the best wine to make glühwein. You don't want to take an expensive bottle of red wine to make glühwein with. You want to take something that's robust. Gallo wine is great because you can make a big bunch of it. You get a big gallon thing, and mainly some of the things that you're going to add in there, are lemons, anise, cinnamon sticks, cloves, some sugar. And now I'm allergic to oranges, so I leave the oranges out, but a lot of other people put the oranges in there. And you just let it simmer. And once you let it simmer about an hour or two, actually, having it in a crock pot going while you've got company, easy thing, real easy. So if you've got a crock pot, just let it simmer in there. The longer it's in there, the better it starts tasting. When you get your little glass of glue wine out, as you see in the cup here, lots of folks will use a cinnamon stick for stirs, or they'll use brown sugar for stirs. But a way to, and you can have it non-alcoholic, meaning you could use like cran apple juice. You can make glue wine that way too. But pretty much when some of that is simmered off, not a lot of alcohol is left, but to give it a little extra kick, ooh, you can get a glue wine. You can do a shot of brandy in it, or you take glue wine and put a shot of amaretto. Um, those are the favorites at the Christmas market. A shot of amaretto, or even Kirschwasser. So it's almost like a cherry liqueur that goes into the glue wine. So when you see people at a Christmas market, they don't just have hot chocolate, they've got glue wine. That's the big thing. So when I've gone around to a lot of these Christmas markets, one of the big things that I really, really enjoy are looking for those special gifts, handmade gifts. And of course, when I'm looking for those picturesque moments, what are they selling here? Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, just going through Vietnam in one of the markets, there's one street and every vendor, all they had was Christmas decorations. It was wild. I have never seen so many Santas in so many different ways. But at these Christmas markets, that's the same thing. Every town will have different things. So you'll see candles made out of beeswax, candles made, from paper, from wood. The nativity sets are just awesome. And of course, the nutcrackers. You're gonna see those nutcrackers, whether they're life size, they're moving, or any of those things. And you'll also see lots of handmade wreaths. And so typically, wreaths, many of the ornaments and things that people have um, in Europe, they do have them live. So that means they're only good for this season. You can't keep this forever. It's not going to dry or anything. So these wreaths are just for now. And many of us purchase fresh trees, and trees have gotten to be very expensive. But the Europeans always find a different kind of way. Many Europeans will take a live tree with the roots and everything. They'll plant it in their yard, strategically planned so that you can see it from the living room. And that tree will grow up to be the family Christmas tree. And they'll decorate it every year outside, and they'll put a little fake tree inside. But the Christmas tree for the family is right outside the window, outside, and it gets bigger and bigger every year so that you have that tree at home every year. You don't have to buy it if you don't need to. The wreaths as well are pretty much put together. You can purchase those in different ways. And when you go to the Christmas market, you have to try some chestnuts. Oh, roasted over an open fire. That's what they talk about, isn't it? That is one of the things that you'll see. And when you go to different Christmas markets, as I said, you'll see different things. So here at the top left, you'll see Strasbourg. Strasbourg, France, has lots of wine incorporated in their Christmas because they are in a big wine area, and the Alsace area, which is known for their pottery. So you'll see lots of different pottery things made there in Strasbourg. And again, as you notice, most of and lots of their Christmas market is all around the Strasbourg Cathedral. So you'll see these little huts. Each one is there by, usually by a company or by a family or by an owner. Many of these folks have traveled from different parts of not just France, but also from different parts of different countries. And they'll come and sell their French decorations. And so Strasbourg is very, very large. You're going to do lots of walking. So if you're not used to it, and if you notice, look at where the lady is standing and look at over at the picture of Colmar, France, there, bottom right. Lots of cobblestones. Be prepared to do lots of walking, and you've got to have some good shoes or good boots. And you're outside in the cold, so be sure to be prepared for those walks. The only place you're going to find to sit down is usually someplace in a little cafe or a restaurant. But in a lot of the Christmas markets, they'll have outdoor seating. They'll give you blankets to stay warm and things, kind of make it cozy. And they'll have open fires and things, fire pits going. So just be prepared, the walking. Oh, Strasbourg is also one, and Colmar. Those are two of the Christmas markets that stay open after Christmas Day. Most German and other European Christmas markets are only open, usually they open the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and they close the 23rd of December so that everybody can go home and celebrate Christmas. But some of them will reopen on the 25th or 26th of December, and they'll go until the 6th of January. So that's something to think about. So after Colmar, France, we've got Czech. And in Czechoslovakia, Prague is one of those beautiful places. It is just neat. And one of the neat things that I experienced there are these, I call them tree cakes. And they kind of wrap this dough and it's kind of looks like a bark. Some people call them bark cakes, but they have the trees and these are like dough wrapped around a coal and then it is baked outside or over an open fire like this. And it's kind of like cinnamon, and sugar. They're so good. You'll see lots of huge or life-size nativities all in those areas. So Prague is one of the most visited Christmas markets as well because it's all throughout the downtown area, not just by the astrological clock, but it goes through all the tiny little streets. So lots and lots and lots of walking. And they also have some up at the castle, at the Prague Castle. They also have extra Christmas markets. Some of the other Christmas markets you'll find in unusual places. So like one weekend, the first weekend of December, you'll find a Christmas market at Hohenzollern Castle in Germany, which is really awesome. In the Advent weekends here, you'll see the Ravenna Gorge Black Forest Christmas market. And it is just look how picturesque. It's out in the middle of the woods. So they've only got a parking lot further away. You got to walk into the woods to get to it, but it's below these ancient train viaducts. And those are still active train lines going across the top there. But this is one of those picturesque Christmas markets that is just so you just look at it, and when you're down there in the woods and it's usually snowing or there's snow there, to see this, but this Christmas market is only open on Advent weekends. Okay. One of the more popular things about ornaments, everyone knows Katie Wolfhard, and Katie Wolfhard started in Rothenburg, the town of Rothenburg in Germany. And that's where many of the original first few ornaments, the wooden ornaments, came from. So lots of Katie Wolfhard really, really takes this to the T because Katie Wolfhard has a store almost everywhere in Europe. And they're open 360 days out of the year, so you can always get ornaments. But if you're ever looking for anything, just look up Katie Wolfhard and they'll let you know where there's a store nearby or someone who's selling all of those beautiful pyramids and Christmas trees. So these are some of the pyramids that you'll find. And it's kind of one of the old traditions to have one of these at your tables. Nowadays, a lot of them, because of safety, they've taken away the candles. So there's no more candles, but the candles would light, and the heat from the candle would make the pyramid tree at the top turn. And then the ornaments that are sitting on little stages on each tier of that pyramid, they would turn as well. So this was sort of like non-electrical, right? Now, here on the left, you'll see there's a pyramid that is being made, and the light is underneath, and it's an electric battery light underneath the pyramid. Or you can find the ones there on the right that you can put, oh gosh, tea lights. A lot of people use tea lights now. But you can also find some electrical ones that are run by batteries. This has gone into Easter, so don't be surprised if you don't see any Easter, any Easter pyramids sometime at Easter time. Of course, they'll have bunnies and things on them, but the ornaments are just so beautiful. Whether you're at the Christmas market, be sure to be careful what you're purchasing. If you've got to travel and you've got to get these things home, be aware. Get yourself something that has that ornament holders or something that you can hand carry. It's very, very difficult for some of these. They're very, very fragile. Now, a nutcracker, they pack and go travel really well. But some of your handmade ornaments, you really have to be careful. Lots of mugs. Every Christmas market you're going to go to, you're going to find they have their own Christmas market mug. So every year they're different, a different design, so that when you come back, so when you go buy hot chocolate, glue wine, or any of those things, you have the option to purchase that Christmas mug, and they will charge you fund or a deposit. What that means is they'll charge you an extra maybe €4, about $4 or $5. And if you return, after you drink your glue wine or hot chocolate, and you return the cup, because they do recycle a lot, you then get that fund back. You get that, €4 or €5 back. But if you want to keep the cup, you just keep it because you've paid for it. Okay, so that's one way to get a really cute souvenir. They are just regular size mugs. There's no big size. There's regular size mugs. At most of the Christmas markets, like I said, you'll see these pyramids. And you'll also see many of the smaller candles where there's a little pyramid or a little wheel at the top going around, and mostly from the heat of the candle that's lit there. We have lots of, we call them Van Gogh candles, those to the left. They're very, very bright, and a lot of them started with Monet or Van Gogh, lots of, bright Starry Night paintings and different things, but you'll see those all around in many, many different countries. So Christmas markets are different in all the countries. And so in many of these, you'll have different themes. So for example, in Esslingen, there is a medieval theme. And with that medieval theme, you'll see that the markets show how Christmas was done way long time ago. So the people get dressed up, they have performers. So what was a Christmas market like in 1850 or whatever? And so Esslingen is one of those that does that. I love it there. They even have this neat way, notice the top left, that is a carousel. It only has 4 benches of seats, but it was driven by manual labor. And somebody would go around and turn the crank, and the kids would go around in the little Ferris wheel. This, it's like the cutest little thing, but this is how it all started, and then besides just doing the Christmassy thing, medieval is where many of the city shows off the things that they make. And a lot of places have hand workshops, so workshops where you can make things. but lots of them have fire shows and then the medieval music with the old instruments. It's just so much fun. There are different types of markets as well, and chocolate is the theme of the Tübingen market, and their chocolate, they do that early and of the season. Everything you could possibly think of, they will have in chocolate. They also do these neat lightings of the buildings. So here at the bottom right, you see where many of the buildings are lit. And an artist has rendered, they get a picture of the building and then they have to do these paintings. And then from somewhere strategically placed, they put these illuminations right on the building. And so this one was an illumination over top of this timbered building that was for the chocolate art Christmas market. You will find ornaments in chocolate. You'll find pictures. Here, there's a pictures in chocolate. And what that means is a lot of them are edible. You eat everything. They'll have beautiful chocolate fudges and things, and many artists paint on them, and the paint that they use is edible. It is a colored chocolate. If you go to England, the UK, they have lots of Christmas markets there, but in many of theirs, they're pretty much in a lot of their train stations because they have these beautiful train stations. So in the Borough Market, you'll find lots of Christmas things. Over in the Covent Gardens, they do a beautiful, yes, many of the towns do their Christmas markets in their, if they have a botanical garden in town, they'll do it there as well. Belgium Christmas markets are lovely, lovely, lovely. They also stay open past Christmas Day. So you have a chance to visit those. Many of them incorporate lots of carnivals. So there's rides. And of course, Belgium, the waffles. You thought when you go to a store in America and buy something about Belgian waffles, you have never tasted a waffle till you've gone to Belgium. They are the masters of it. And the chocolates are. Italy, many of their markets are also in their market squares. Here was in one in Trentino, and they have lots of religious figurines, lots of religious nativities, large, and they have lots of plays and things going on there as well. So wherever you're ending up, you're going to find the southern parts of Tyrol and Austria. Many of those are very religious with lots of Christian symbolisms and things. And many of them will have Hanukkah items. So there's always somebody there with lots of Hanukkah decorations or ornaments as well. So here are a couple of the Christmas markets that are open after December 25th. So Heidelberg, Strasbourg, Vicenza, and many more. I'll be sure to post my list of the Christmas markets, those that are open afterwards, and where you can actually purchase some of those beautiful ornaments and they can be shipped to you. There's a small company out of Tübingen, and this brother and sister team have always had the most lovely pyramids and things, and they've gone to all of the American bazaars and things, but they will ship. So I will put that into my email later on and post that up on Facebook for you as well. So Christmas markets are out and going, they'll be up and going, and they'll close in many places on Epiphany. Yes, Europeans do not take down Christmas decorations until January 6th. That's the Epiphany Day. And that is the day that supposedly the three kings traveled and finally reached the Christ child and gave him the gifts. So that is one of the big things that happens on January 6th. That's the day officially you can undecorate. It's the ending of the Christmas markets. And if you notice here, the upper left, in most Christian homes, the three kings come to visit. They go around town. Usually it's kids from your church, and they'll come around town and they will come and say a little prayer or they'll sing a song right in front of your door. And they will bless your home and put the markings across the top of your doorway in chalk to know that the three kings have been here and your house is blessed for the year. So those are some of the wonderful things and some of the traditions that you'll find that we have in Europe and Christmas markets. And I just hope that at one time or another, you get to go and visit a Christmas market. You'd like to get to plan one, or you'd like to make sure and get one planned for your family, or you have options. Just drive, fly over, drive, take the train, take a cruise. Oh, you can do all kinds of things. But at this wonderful Christmas time, I just want to thank you for your efforts and times in listening in on our Travel Talk Tuesday. And we will make sure, let me check and see if we have any questions up in our, I don't see any questions. But I will post all the information for the Christmas markets, and I'll send out all the places that you can, on the links that you can go and find those things to help you with your plans to go to a Christmas market. Thank you so much for watching, and it's Juanita from EurWay Tours signing off. Travel Talk Tuesday. We'll see you for the next one in December, and we'll talk about Christmas markets or European influences in the United States. All right. So December 12th is our next Travel Talk Tuesday. We'll check with you later. And if you look for us on Facebook or if you're looking for us on the web, we are there. And we thank you and frohe Weihnachten.